Okay, let's have a look at focus tasks. Focus tasks are going to take up the majority of your time on a weekly basis as it deals with interacting with your students, at least at this stage. Now, focus tasks are the equivalent of classroom tutorials if you're teaching on ground. They're trying to keep, the purpose behind them is trying to keep the students on track, make sure that they're digesting and understanding the material on a weekly basis. In the old course format, we called the focus task learning journals, and you'll see that in many of the units. Regardless if they're in a learning journal format, which is a wiki, or in a quiz format, the purpose is still the same. However, the way you go about trying to grab and snag the information to provide feedback is a little different. So the majority of you right now are probably going to see learning journals, so let's click on that. And here you'll notice that the focus tasks are listed, but then there's just the only thing that's clickable is the question mark. Well, that's because you haven't actually selected a student, so you need to go to the right hand side of the screen, and if you hit this menu, you'll see where it says other wikis, you'll see your student names in a drop down. So if you click on one of the students, what you should then be able to see now is where they've submitted their focus tasks within the wiki. Now, for example, session 1, here you go, they've actually put their answer right into the wiki. Now, some students may have attached a document versus just doing that. If they attach the document, you need to go to Attach Documents and you'll find it here. So I can find an example of that. Now, all of these students have actually loaded their answers into that. But just in case, always have a look from time to time just to make sure that you're not missing their actual learning journal as they might have attached it. Okay? Now, the purpose of this, and this is a bit of a trick that I do, is I will open this, right click on it and open into a new tab. If I have 3 students, I'll do it 3 times. Then in each tab, I can have a different student from the same class, their learning journals open. Just a little tip or trick. You can do it any way that makes sense to you, but let's say if it were week 1 and I was grading all of week 1, I would then go back and open each one of them. That way I have easy access, toggling between each and having a look at their answer. Now, ideally what we would like for you to do with at IOTA is to look at each of the students' answers for that particular week and choose the best 1 or 2 examples of answers from that particular question and put them together, copy and paste them into a focus or a feedback document. Especially if their questions, or if their answers provide really good examples of the concept, let's say from their particular country or cultural perspective, that would be really handy. Now, the purpose of this is a few things. 1, it shows students what good answers look like, or interesting answers, and it also provides those students who did not do their focus test for that week at least the ability to have an idea of what type of answers were necessary in that area, so some learning still occurs. Now, this is not supposed to be an arduous process for you. That's why if you do things, if you try to toggle it back and forth like this, and you decide, okay, I'm going to copy all of this answer, copy, and then of course going into a Word document, pasting it, and maybe adding a little comment of your own around it. That way then you can save it and then post it back for the students. Now, where do we post this for the students? You do not want to be providing feedback within the wiki or even the quiz format, which I'll show you in a minute, because the students really don't have access or would know where to find it. Now, the feedback is group feedback, so there's any number of ways of doing it. You can actually post it within the forum for that particular session week, or you can also upload it to that session week, and I'll show you how to do that in just a second. But just so you know, this is what the wiki format is for the learning journals.